This is Russ. Yeah, we're back out on the road again. So where am I headed today? I have no idea. I just wanted to get outside. Now, this is the second time I'm out today, actually. I was out earlier in the morning doing a review of another bike. I'll tell you, these reviews are taking up a lot of time. I am behind schedule. I'm only like 3 or 4 videos ahead of you guys at this point. So yeah, it does eat up time. And sometimes you do things, you find that you make some type of mistake, you have to scrub that entire footage. So all of that effort for that day is essentially wasted then. So yeah, it's a lot tougher dealing with reviews than it is just going out for a bike ride. So I thought today, after I did some of the review, and I couldn't use all of the footage either because I messed up on one thing again, I figured I'd go out and just take a ride. Because that is the reason why we have these bikes. It's not there to do review upon review upon review. It's there to enjoy the bike. So I am out on another ride. So what am I on today? I'm on the Vanpowers Day. Yeah, it's a new bike. It's one of the new ones. So I figured, yeah, why not take this bike? This bike's got a lot of power. It's got a lot to it. And because of that, I'm happy to ride it. By now, I think you probably would have seen the first review of the Day from Vanpowers. So it's okay to take it. And there's some bikes that, of course, by the time you see this video, there's new bikes that have come in. But I think I could talk about it at this point because I think everyone knows what's coming. Yeah, it's the remaining 2 bikes from Magicycle. That would be the Jaguar Runday, which is the folding bike. And then there's the Ocelot Pro, which a lot of you guys have been waiting for. Hey, those things have already been shipped. So they're coming to me. But I do know that several people already have them. Yeah, we don't get them before you guys do. Everyone keeps thinking we get preferential treatment or something. No, we don't get anything extra special. There's people out there that have it before I have it, and they're just regular consumers. They placed their pre-orders, they got them. So I've seen photos of them already. From the people who got them, that is, you know, because Magicycle has a Facebook group, and they're posting them already. So we know that they're out there in the wild. Mine is coming. Mine is coming. No S. Mine is coming. So I think mine will be here in about 3 days, something like that. So I'll be getting both of those models. And I know it's coming from them because it's shipping from the same locations. And based on their weights and what's left coming to me, those are the final 2 bikes coming my way. So yeah, they're on their way. So let me give you some updates on other things that you're probably wondering. Now, comments have been made. Where's that star nut for the cruiser? Yeah, where is that thing? Yeah, I still haven't gotten it from them. So people are like wondering, well, what happened? I think it fell through the cracks, to tell you the truth. The person that handles my account has decided to leave Magicycle. I believe he's moving. He's moving away. So it's possible that he may have placed it through and it just fell through the cracks because nobody followed up on it or something. It's okay, not a problem. I've already fixed the problem. I went on Amazon and I bought a star nut alignment tool. Turns out it was the wrong size. It was the one from Park Tools. And so I had to return that. And it didn't have a star nut anyways, it was just a tool. So then Amazon, of course, suggests other things you can consider buying, right? And there was another tool. It was actually cheaper. and it came with 3 star nuts. So I says, okay, let's order this one. It's probably the correct size, and I get 3 star nuts. Sure enough, it came in, and I've already installed the star nut. It's actually really simple to do with the tool. If you don't have the tool, then it would be difficult. Yeah, because you gotta have that lined up just right. It's got to be perfectly lined. Otherwise, if you don't line it up, when you try to screw it in there and it's on an angle, it's not gonna work, right? So the tool essentially just fits over the top of the handlebar stem, so that when you pound it in there, it goes in perfectly. Okay. So that took me all of 30 seconds to install it. So it's not hard. And so I was ready to close it all up, because all you have is really just a screw and a cap on the top, right? Just like this one here. I can't find a screw and a cap. I took it off, it's been well over several weeks, maybe even a month. Who knows? I don't know how long it's been. I put it in a plastic baggie, and I don't know where that thing is. So I go, great. Now that we fixed one problem, we've got another problem. So back onto Amazon I went, and I looked up handlebar stem cap. Sure enough, they sell them like $5. So I placed the order for that. Now I'm waiting for that to come in. That should be in a couple of days. Once that's in, then we're back up and running again with the cruiser. What an ordeal, huh? Yeah, we don't get any special accommodations, quite frankly. We get what you guys get. It's the same thing. So now people have said, if Russ has had so many problems getting parts and stuff, what would happen to poor guys like us? You get the same treatment as I get, okay? We don't get anything special. Mine's fell through the crack because my request went through the person who handles my account, who is leaving the company. So I'm thinking that's probably what happened to it. He's got too many things he's worrying about. He's not thinking too much about it, and may have just fallen through the cracks. It happens. I don't blame him. I don't really miss it anyway, because all these review bikes that come in, and I had other things to do. So even if I had fixed the bike, I probably would not have been riding that bike anyway, because I had review bikes to deal with. So it works out for the best. It's fine. No big deal. So how's this bike? This bike's actually pretty good. I actually kind of like this Vanpowers. That's the thing. Everyone says that every bike you get, you like them all. Yeah, I do like them all. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't even accept them to do a review on them, right? If I didn't think there was a potential somewhere, I wouldn't do it. I've said that before. I'm not going to take in a bike that's, obvious flaws. And then sometimes you get bikes that, come in and may not necessarily be perfect for you. And that happens. But as far as for this bike, I kind of looked at it first and I said, well, it's kind of a basic bike. It doesn't have anything that stands it out. They're not new. They've been around, but new to me, maybe new to you. And so I said, well, let me try it. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it might be a decent bike. Who would have thought that this thing actually has quite the power that it does? This thing does. I'm not kidding. It has 85 Newton meters of torque. That's what they claim, and I believe it is, because we did that hill test with it, and that thing flew up that hill with no problem. So obviously it has the ability. I kind of like riding this bike. It's actually it's a nice bike. The only flaw, I said, with this bike is it's lacking fenders. And the one time I took it out, I was going to do the review. I had to pass 3 riders on 3 senior riders who were riding on the path, but they're going really slow. They're probably doing less than 9 miles an hour. I says, I can't stay behind these guys. I've got to pass them. So I went up on the grass to pass them, but the morning dew was enough to splatter that thing all over me, including the lens of the camera. I didn't know that until I got home, put it up on the computer to take a look at the thing for editing, and I says, man, this thing is splattered. I can't use the footage. Those are the things that keep pushing me back one by one. I go out and I do it, I can't even use it. That's happened several times to me. Not the splattering, but where I've actually recorded something, I've just said, I've got to toss this footage. It's not something I could use. So that's what's pushing me behind. Otherwise, if all the things that I've recorded were okay to use, I'd probably be 2 weeks ahead of you guys, at least, maybe longer. But now I'm finding I'm only a couple days ahead of you. Now, you guys might think that's okay because then, we're talking more about things that are more current, which is correct. But on a YouTube basis, if you're not too far ahead, and then something happens like rain or or what happened with the splattering, then yeah, you might find that you don't have any footage to use for the next day. So now, not every YouTuber does what I do, where they put out a video a day. They may only put out 1 video a week. But as you know, I like putting out a daily video, except for Sunday. Sometimes they even put it on Sunday. But at least 6 out of the 7 days, you usually see a Russ is Right video out there. So yeah, it affects me when I have to throw away an entire day's worth of video. So this Vanpower Mana Day, this is not an official video for them. This is just me riding. That's why you don't see a thing that says paid promotion. People have asked me about that paid promotion sign. Let me tell you a little bit about that thing. We're required by YouTube that if you're doing a video as payment for something, like in my case, they would give me a bike, and then I do a video for them. Well, that's payment for your video, essentially. That's your pay, essentially. And so you have to disclose that you were paid for this video. Well, you guys all know that. That's nothing that's hidden to anybody. Everyone knows whenever I do a review thing that's a review bike that was provided to me, right? So that's why there's a thing. Sometimes you see a thing that says paid promotion. But when I'm just taking the bike out for the fun of taking the bike out, I'm not required to do this video, but I've got to ride something. So, I mean, if you think about it at this point, there's more bikes that were provided to me than the bikes that I actually purchased. I only purchased 2 bikes. I purchased my Rad Rover 5, which was my original bike. Where are we headed here? Let's just go this way. I'm always heading in the same direction all the time. I just don't know where I'm going. I bought the Rad Rover 5, paid that outright, and then I also bought, partly bought the Rad Mini Step-thru 2 for my wife. The vast majority of that bike was paid for by you guys, actually, because Rad gives me a $50 credit if you guys use your $50 credit on the affiliate link. Okay, so whenever you use that affiliate link, you get $50 off of your Rad bikes, but Rad also gives me $50 for sending you there. So enough of you guys have done that enough money was generated that the vast majority of that bike was purchased using those credits to RAD. I think we paid maybe, what was it, $260, $280, something like that towards it, because we didn't have the full credits. But that bike was going out of the production line. They gave us a warning, says, hey, if you don't order now, you're not going to get any more of these. And that was the bike my wife wanted, so we paid the extra money and bought it. So those are the only 2 bikes I actually really purchased. Well, partially purchased that one, and the rest of them were provided to me. So when I take a bike out, they're basically all provided bikes, except for those. Well, I never ride my wife's bikes, except for the Rad Rover then, if you think about it. And I appreciate it too. I have one benefit I know that most people don't have, is that I could really ride the bike in the morning, wear out the battery, swap out the bike and take another bike and head out again, which is what I'm doing right now. The other bike is actually charging at home, which is really not the best way to do it. You really should be home when you're charging, but the bike has had good history of not blowing up when it's been charged. So I trust that it's going to be okay. So here we are on the Mana Day, Vanpowers Mana Day. What is a Mana Day? It's I think it's some type of grouping of animals or something. It's always animals. Why is it always animals? Why is it all these companies pick animal names for their bikes? I'm finding this to be a common theme here. And they pick names that we've never heard of. Okay, not all of them. Some of them pick decent names that we've all heard of before. But Ocelot? I never heard of an Ocelot before. I've never heard of a Jaguar Rundy before either from Magicycle. So I'm learning new names of animals. Where am I going? Who cares? Let's just ride. It doesn't really matter. Well, who cares, really? Who cares where we're going? I personally don't care where I'm going. As long as I can find my way back home and I have enough battery to get home, I'm fine with it. I don't really care less where we head. As long as I don't end up on a street that I don't want to be on, right? That's what I've always said. Big streets, yeah, I don't particularly like that. Like, there's a big street right up ahead, but we're going to cross it. We're not going to go on it. We're in Arlington Heights now, for those who are local. So this is Arlington Heights Road that we're crossing. What road am I? I'm on Oakton Street right now. I mean, we've done these roads before. It's not like a big deal. So yeah, this Mana Day has a decent step over height. I can jump off of this and feel comfortable. My inseam is about 30.5, I believe. Let's say add in an inch for shoes. And you know what an inseam really means? It really means that that's your pants leg measurements, right? So which means it only goes up to your ankles. So really, it's probably more than you think. I mean, when you take a measurement how tall you are to your crotch area, it's more than your inseam. In my opinion, it is, because when you measure an inseam for pants, you're really only measuring, say, your crotch to where your pants leg stops. You don't measure that down to the ground. So you got some space there. Then you add in the height of shoes, you got some space there, right? But yeah, some bikes are fairly large, like the Area 13 Blackbird. It's pretty large. It says 32-inch step over height. I do touch that when I'm off the bike, so I always keep it slightly leaned to one side so that I don't end up hitting anything that I don't want hit. You might notice that I always grab my cell phone mount, have to readjust it. That's because when I jump off of the bike at a stop sign, you know, my chest usually ends up hitting that. Because I got cameras and everything. That's why you see the camera gets really close to everything. So that usually pushes it to the side. Now, the one thing I do miss on this bike and some others that have come in is the USB charging ports. This one doesn't have a USB charging port that goes underneath the display screen, even though this display screen looks exactly like the Rad Rover 5's display screen. They probably buy it from the same source, I'm thinking. I mean, it's literally identical, but it doesn't have the USB charging port in there. So in that sense, I do miss that, because if I'm using GPS on the phone, you know, and it's constantly running, you're wearing it down, you have nothing to charge it up with. That's why a lot of times you see I have a cable connected to my phone and into the port. Well, no port on this one, so you don't get that. So every bike has good things and it has some things that it's missing. This one, it's missing the fenders, which I really like, especially when you get splattered. And it's missing a USB charging port, which I really like. It's missing the rear tail light. Only works when the headlight is on. It does not work when you hit the brakes. So it's not a warning system that you're stopping or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's missing things, but it's got other things that makes up for it. I like the shifter. I really like the shifter. I like the shifter actually a little bit more than the ceramic shifter that's on the Blackbird. And the reason is because when you go down, you know, with this thing, you go to a lower gear, and then you just pull up with the index finger, and you go up a gear. So it's down and up. Whereas the other one, on the Ceram, you got to push down, swing your thumb around, and push down on the other one to move up a gear. So it's a little harder to keep moving your thumb back and forth like this versus keeping it in that position, just alternating index finger and thumb. So again, the Ceram may be considered an upgrade, but the execution of that particular device seems to be better here than it is on that trigger shifter. At least for me. I mean, I'm sure other people, they're fine with it, but okay, I think we got a turn or something here. Let's just turn here. Men working. Where are these men? What are they working on? Wow, there's some really nice houses out here. Look at this house. There's some really nice homes out here. Yeah, I've never been in this neighborhood before. Yeah, there's more houses out here that are really nice. These are really nice homes out here. Property seems to be pretty large. The homes look really large. Every one of them are nice out here. Well, that would make sense. I mean, you don't want to be like the only home out here that's huge and everybody else's home is little. They're all large, it seems. All right. Are those the men that are working? No, there's homes being built up here. There's a house being built to the left here. Now, these houses are really nice. Man, I need to move to this neighborhood. Nope, sorry. Russ doesn't have that kind of funds. Alright, it looks like up ahead is a larger street, which we may have to go on. We'll see. Either that or we'll cross it and then come back and cross it again. What road is this? Let's see where we are. Euclid. You guys know I don't like being on Euclid. Alright, we're gonna have to take Euclid. We got no choice. Gotta take Euclid, then we gotta get off of Euclid. We gotta find another street to get off on. Now, stuff like this, I will typically throttle it so that I don't have to deal with thinking of pedaling and talking and riding a major street. Throttle and get out of there. That's my way of doing things. So this Vanpowers bike, Vanpowers wants to find out what people think about this bike. Not only me, but I'm sure you too. I'm sure they'll be reading any comments and things like that. So, you know, if you have comments on these bikes, you should make comments about the bike on their videos, the videos I make for them. Let them know what you think. You know, that way they get feedback, and then they could improve the product, or if you like some part of it, and then they know that that's something they can keep for future models too, right? So I kind of miss having the ability to just ride and talk. You know, when we're doing the reviews, it's ride and talk about the bike because it's a review. So sometimes just being able to get out and just do a regular ride is nice. Now, people have mentioned to me too, they said there's obviously other reviewers on the internet, but they said that you may be the only one that's actually riding the bikes and putting in that kind of time and talking about the bikes. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if there's other people who are doing it or not doing it, but I do know that my channel is mostly a riding channel, right? We just go out, we ride, we talk. Now, that got changed a little bit when review bikes started coming my way, and I thought about it and I said, yeah, why not review some bikes? I mean, I get a chance to ride some new stuff. Things are provided for me, and then I get a chance to tell you what I think about them. That's a benefit to me, hopefully to you too. All right, we're back on Oakton, so we can head back same way we came in. Yeah, people have asked, how come you never hit the gears? Well, that's because I don't need to be in the low gears if I'm throttling up to get to the higher gears, right? That eats up your battery. I can tell you that right now. This is why a lot of times I ask for 2 batteries on my review bikes. Not every company provides it. I haven't asked every company either. I mean, there's some bikes that I know that I may not take this thing for a long distance ride. It'd just be like an everyday around the neighborhood type rides. I don't need 2 batteries then. But you know, if it's a bike that I think, hey, I'm really gonna like these bikes, I need that second battery to do what I do, then I'll ask them. So Magicycle's been pretty nice. They've given me those second batteries, but they're not gonna provide it to every single reviewer, 2 batteries. I mean, they do it to me because they know that's how I do my videos. I do those long rides. Most rides that I do, although you don't see it all the time, is I probably do 18 to 20 miles a day on my rides. So to me, I need those second batteries because if I go further than that, I want to make sure I can get home. I don't want to be stranded somewhere. You know, you do a video and then you get stranded because you ran out of battery. That's not going to be helpful. And I eat up the batteries like crazy, and that's because I throttle heavily. I throttled heavy to get going. I don't use my gears the way you should. And then a lot of times when I'm on camera, I don't want to pedal. I'm looking around, talking about things, and I don't want to be thinking about the pedaling at the same time too. So, I mean, people say, how hard is that to do? Well, it's not that hard, but you know, it's just one extra thing I don't have to think about. So a lot of times I throttle. Okay, here. Let's shift down. Okay. Now I'm moving, so I got to shift up. Got to move again. I got to shift up. I mean, that's not that hard. I've got trigger controls right here, my hand. It's easy enough to do. Shift up again. But the constant up and down of the shifting is eliminated if I just use the throttle at the expense of the battery. So, shift down a little bit there. You just go by feel. I mean, this thing has a 1 through 8 number, so I know what gear it is. The SRAM on the Blackbird does not have anything that tells you what gear you're in. I believe it has 9 gears on there. It doesn't tell you what you're on. But do you really need to know what you're on? I don't think so. I don't think you really need to know. You just go by feel. If it's not enough, hit the next gear. Right? So I shift it down, shift up, shift up. It's like driving a manual transmission car. Yeah, by the way, I've only driven a manual transmission car a couple of times under the watchful eye of one of my friends who tried to teach me how to ride or drive a manual transmission car. Yeah, I stalled it a couple of times. I drove his car, couldn't get it out of first without stalling. Took a while, right? Have you guys tried that before? Tried to ride or drive a manual transmission car and then stalled it out of first. Once you're out of first, you're fine. But yeah, he had patience to show it to me at least, and did it a couple times. But I haven't driven a manual car in probably 40 years at this point. Alright, we've crossed over. I don't think I've taken this one down this far. I don't know where we are. It's always the case. I don't know where I'm going. I just go. It's okay. As long as it's not a big street, I'm fine with it. We'll figure it out later. Bike route, Lake Arlington. Okay, let's go to Lake Arlington. Let's see. Let's go this way. Let's see what's out there. Now, a problem with Lake Arlington, we've done it before. There's a lot of walkers out there. So actually, it's on the way going to the Prospect Heights Trail, which we've done many times before in the past as well. Yeah, we'll head in that direction. Why not? Why not? We're not going to make this light. See, I knew it. This is Palatine Road. And do I really want to do this? No, not really. But with all the cars here, are there any more cars? There's cars behind me. And yeah, I don't really want to do this. I think I'm going to turn it around. Yep, I cannot disconnect myself. I've got my wiring behind me, hooked up to me, so yeah, I really can't. Yeah, let's move up. I guess we'll do it. I cannot swing off of this bike because I got cabling hooking up my audio recorder to my transformer, which is hooked into my belt. So if I try to swing my leg over, I'd get all tangled up with the wires. Now, people have asked me before, why don't you just get yourself a wireless mic? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Here's why. The sound quality out of this Shure mic that I use is so good, and the wind rejection is so good, I'm not taking a chance on the wireless mic. Many wireless mics I've found still have issues with its sound quality, and then the noise rejection from the wind is not that great on many of them that I've seen. So yeah, we're sticking with the wired version from Shure. This is not an inexpensive mic either. This is, I think, like $150 something microphone. Plus then you've got the audio recorder, which is about $200 something. And then of course you got the GoPro that I'm using. Plus the editing software, all sorts of things. So yeah, I'm not going to switch. I'm going to stick with what I have because it's a tried and true thing. But the drawback is you are connected. All right. Let's go forward and see where it goes. Lake Arlington, straight ahead it says. Okay. Let's go straight ahead. Now we are on a more traveled road than some of the other side streets. It's okay. We'll keep going. What time is it? 2:02. So you can see it's in the afternoon, which is something I usually don't do anyway. I usually prefer to do morning rides and the like. Okay, Lake Arlington is to our right. It doesn't look like that many people. Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, like I said, this is my second ride of the day. I just needed to go back out and do a little bit of riding and record it. Oh, you might ask too, why are my keys always hanging off of the why are they always hanging off of the let's go this way. Too sharp of a turn. They're always hanging off of the cables in the front, and the reason is because I never leave my bike anywhere anyway. I have it with me at all times. So it doesn't really matter that that it's hanging off of the bike, because I never leave the bike by itself. And with all the bikes that I have, bike lane, no walking. Okay, so I am on the bike lane. With all the bikes that I have, if I took the keys off of them all, I would just get confused which key goes to which bike. So I just leave the key on the bike. Not the way you should do it, all right? In my case, that's the way I do it. The only ones that I don't have the keys hanging off of is the Rad Rover 5 and the Magicycle Cruiser, because those are the ones I have been using most. And sometimes I may want to lock that up, you know, like I've done like the Chinese carryout thing where I would lock my bike up outside the Chinese carryout and go inside. Obviously you don't want to leave the keys hanging there for that purpose, but so those are the only bikes that really do that too. Alright, we got to lower the pedal assist here because 3 is way too fast for this area. Let's go down to 1. What does it give me when I do 1? So I could feel me slow down, and the resistance is quite a bit harder on 1. Yeah, I don't like 1. Let's do 2. 2's okay. And now if I did 1, I feel that resistance there. That means I should drop to a lower gear, but it's too slow for me. I don't want to be that slow. Right now we're doing about 13.6, 13.7 miles per hour. I don't know what the speed limit on this road is. Probably between 12 and 15 usually. I think the very first time I ever took Lake Arlington, there was so many people walking on the path that it just wasn't fun to be on, and they were walking all over the place. They weren't on the walking only path, they were on the bike and walking path, so they were all over the place. And I said, I'm never coming back here again. So now they're putting these signs up here, so maybe people can come back with their bikes and do it, as long as people follow the sign. So it shows right here, it says walking path is on the left. It says walking line. It's confusing. I mean, the signs are confusing. I think what they're saying is if you want to walk, stay on the left. You want to ride your bike, stay in the right. I think that's what they're basically saying. I mean, this is a pretty big lake. Let me show you here the angled thing. And we got all these geese. And the geese, I tell you, the geese just have no fear. They'll walk right out in front of you. They poop all over the place. It's kind of a mess. They'll try to attack you. If they got babies, they'll try to attack you. So you gotta watch out for it. These are Canadian geese. Why are they called Canadian geese? Because they're originally from Canada. They came down for a vacation and never went back. Uh-oh. Look at this mess. All right, how are we gonna get these geese out of the way? Yeah, see? How do you get out of there? How are you supposed to pass that? Look at that. Let's just ding, ding, ding these guys. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Yeah, that's a first. I didn't know what else I can do. I figured if I hit the bell enough times, maybe they'll hear it and they'll move out of the way, and they did. You get an ear horn. All right. What else is new? What else can I tell you? That's about all I have to tell you. Oh, this goes out to another area. Oh well. We're just going to go around to Lake Arlington. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging around with me today, keeping me company, taking out a new bike, having fun on the new bike. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.